Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, thanks you guys that are here in person. Thanks to the people online. I'm also recording this for all the people that couldn't be here, and it'll be on the website. So hopefully this will be pretty quick and painless. Just double check everybody that's online. Can somebody just let me know that you can hear me now? Because I did change one little setting. Somebody said, yes, you can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. I am going to start. So thanks for being here. I'm Greg Adkins. I promise I won't stare at my computer the whole time. I'm going to just change one thing here. Entire screen. So the computer will quit looking at me and they'll see what I'm looking at here. Maybe. Okay. All right. So, hey, thanks for being here. I know that being a parent in the speech and debate world is really weird, kind of. And I know that only because I have had both of my sons have gone through the program. Well, my youngest son is a senior in the program now, so I know what it's like. And I always give the story that if your kid runs cross country, it's pretty easy to know how to support him. You just go and cheer for him, right? Speech and debate is a little bit different, maybe. But hopefully you'll leave tonight kind of knowing what our expectations in the program, a little bit about our program. This will not last an hour, I guarantee you. And kind of where we keep all the information. So everything that we do, hopefully, is on our speech and debate website. That's what's up on the screen right now. You can find this site going through Glacier High activities as well. And it's got a lot of links that are important that you probably will need to know. Probably the biggest one that I'm going to talk about is the link for Guide to Parents in just a moment. But it has our practice schedule, our tourney schedule, lots of things. Feed the Wolves, which you're going to hear a lot about tonight, or a little bit about it tonight. All that kind of stuff. One thing, though, that'll be just on this main page, when we go to a tournament, I will have a form that I call the travel form and agenda. Students will say, I don't know when we're leaving, or I don't know if we're supposed to buy meals or whatever. This is where I give all that information. And the kickoff is up here. It looks similar to this every week. Welcome to my world. And it'll let you know where we're at, the expectations, all that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm not going to really spend a lot of time with that, but that's up for this weekend already. That's a bigger deal when we go on tournaments, and you want to know when the bus is leaving and when we're coming back, and are they supposed to bring money for meals, and where are we staying if we're in a motel. All that stuff will be in that document. And I try to put it up at the very latest by Tuesday of the week, but before okay. It'll always be there. I will also send you a reminder, at least here at the beginning of the year, through Remind, which I'll talk about in just a second, that it's there. All right. So, Guide for Parents. I'm not going to read this to you, but I do want to hit a couple of things. Everything's a little bit slow. This is here. I actually updated a couple little things this morning. But welcome to this program. I'm obviously really biased because this is the program, and a lot of you parents know this already, but I know a lot about this program. Think about this. Your child has chosen to do speech and debate in high school, right? It means they're going to get up in front of people and they're going to present. What an important skill, right? What an absolutely critical skill. People are trying to get into the meeting. And I absolutely know that is a big deal. And especially today when students are dealing with anxiety and all the other things, what a great exercise, right? So just the exercise itself to get up in front of people is a big deal. And you should really be proud of your child for choosing to do this. Or maybe you made them do it. I don't know. But they're doing it. I see tons of growth in this program through our students, because we have everybody from, and you maybe know this already, but we have students that are doing this because they want to be state champs, and that, they've committed to that, and they're going to be state champions, and they're going to work, and their life is all about speech and debate. And you have on the other spectrum, person that is just deathly afraid of getting up in front of people and is courageous enough, I guess, to get up and do this, right? And everybody kind of falls in between those two. And lots of times that person will move over to the side where, hey, this is a really cool activity. The activity itself is awesome. And what I started to say is that there are other great activities at Glacier, obviously, but I can just speak to this activity because I know a lot about it. I've been here since we opened at Glacier. I coached for 15 years at Flathead before that. And so, and the majority of our staff have been here since we opened. I really, truly believe that this activity, this program about becoming, besides all the work and the dedication, the determination and the discipline the activity takes, the ability or the idea that you're going to be in something bigger than yourself, be part of a team, it's super important. And it's really important in our program because it really is all about the team. It's all about the team and how we can help each other. And we're really a competitive program. So we really we talk about that a lot because when you have success, the team has success, right? But this activity will also humble you. Nobody goes through the season perfect. And so it's all those really cool life lessons, I think, that this activity teaches. That others activities teach as well, but maybe not as obvious and maybe not as slap in your face, when you get your scores and you think that you had an amazing round and the judge says you didn't have an amazing round, right? Those are good lessons, especially when, excuse me, when you're there to help them through that and we're there to help them through that. We have about 120, I think I ordered 121 spirit packs a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And that's pretty normal in our program. Definitely over 100 students do speech and debate at Glacier High School. That is, we take that for granted sometimes. When you think about that, a student body of 1,400 and, over 100 of them are doing speech and debate. It's pretty remarkable. And they don't have that everywhere, for sure. And because of that does have some challenges because we want everybody to have a really cool great activity and a great experience. And so figuring out how we get 120 kids to compete all the time and practice, and we're all a little overwhelmed right now because we're in the frazzle part of the season when Mrs. Fritz and I were talking about this is the week when every students come up and they want to quit, right? Because we have a tournament on Saturday and now it's all starting to get really real. But what we say is if you can make it through this month, if you can make it through the kickoff, this activity changes a lot and helps a lot. Okay, so we have a program. This is through Montana High School Association, MHSA. So we have the same rules that they have, that Coach Harkins has in the basketball program or any of those. We follow those same things and the same expectations. We do have a varsity program and what we call a JV program. It's a little weird because our varsity program are 2-day tournaments. You saw that on that home page. And they basically are 2 a month in November, 2 in December, and then in January. And the varsity is no more than 4 in any event. And as many as we can get on the bus. They changed the rules a little bit this year, so we can actually bring a little bit more. We used to have this magic number of 42, but now it's not. That magic number disappeared. And so we'll try to get as many people into varsity. The junior varsity program competes on Saturdays. There's 4 one-day tournaments, basically local tournaments, and they get up really early Saturday morning and they go and compete all day Saturday. Those tournaments are we call them JV tournaments, but they're really not JV tournaments. They will be competing against the Class A, B, and C schools, varsity kids that don't go to a AA tournament or a 2-day tournament. So you'll be going up against Columbia Falls as varsity kids and Whitefish as varsity kids. And it's a really awesome experience. And I will tell you that our JV and varsity programs are really fluid, maybe more so this year than even in the past, that lots of times people will move around and change and all that. This is a no-cut activity, but some of the students, their last tournament will be around Christmas time. And in January, we would just focus in on that varsity state team. That's really tough. That's really tough. Think about that. We have 100 plus kids and cutting down to, 40, 50 kids. And some of those are double entry kids. So now we're actually at less numbers than that. I know that I believe that we have the largest cut of any activity. You know, we definitely have more kids go out for our program than they do in basketball, for example. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing, just an observation. But all right. We have our practice schedules posted on the website. We try to keep really adhere to those. Obviously, things happen. Students should be expected to go to practice when they're asked to go to practice. We are a really flexible program in that if you communicate with us, you know, we work around all kinds of schedules, all kinds of schedules. The key is that the students need to communicate that with us, right? Know that. Don't worry about what event. Right now, that's probably the stress in your home. If you're new to this activity, am I doing the right event? Should I be doing? Maybe I should have went to debate. We'll help students with that. If we had our kids in here right now, I know that our older kids, our varsity kids, I usually have them. How many of you are doing the event now that you started? And like 2 will raise their hand. You know, most kids move around until they find their niche and where their strengths are. And we as coaches will help you with that. We help the students with that. The biggest thing here for the beginning of the year, we just want to get them competing. We even know, like we are even talking, okay, they're not going to stay in that event after this weekend, but we'll get them to a tournament. So then they know what it's like. So don't worry about that, but we can help you in that. Debaters, just do debate. Speech kids can do 2 events. It's just the way the tournaments are set up in Montana, based on space. Like, for example, when we go to Bozeman, all the debaters will be at Bozeman High School and all the speech will be at Gallatin High School. So it'd be hard to do a debate event and a speech event because you're in a different part of the town. And that's kind of how Montana works. So what do you do as a parent now? This is really kind of weird because I don't know if you've done this yet, but you should make sure that your paperwork is done and that your fees are paid. What that means is that they're up there on the screen, an activity fee of $35. All the students are asked to pay for that. That activity fee goes into our program. Activity ticket as well, which hopefully you've bought that already. Once you've bought it for one activity, you don't have to do that as well. We do a spirit pack. I saw somebody wearing it. No, spirit packs, and they were all distributed. A spirit pack is what we wear when we're out in the community, when we're on the buses, doing things representing Glacier Speech and Debate. If your student didn't bring home a spirit pack, ask them why they haven't. We do have extras still that a couple of kids haven't picked up yet. So know that. And then in November, and after Thanksgiving, we're going to sell Toyota raffle tickets because, as you probably know, all of you know, prices have really gone up on a lot of things that we do. Motel rooms are kind of blowing my mind when I saw what we're paying in Bozeman and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to do a little bit of fundraising. We're going to ask students to sell 3 Toyota tickets after Thanksgiving. All right, here's a biggie: communication. If you are not already on our Remind, please join that. I've been sending reminds to last year's group. I'm going to stop doing that after tonight's meeting. But join our new group. It's on there. It's in the website. It's at WPAC, PAR for parents 23 to 81010. That would be awesome. That will be the way that I let you know of updates. It's also where I'll send notes like, oh, the bus is running 2 hours late. Because I know your students don't always let you know those kind of things, right?
Somebody online has a question.
Oh, yeah. Question. What's the question?
Their hand is raised.
Oh, I think oh gosh. See, this is what happens. Admit.
I'm in it and I can monitor them.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, if you have comments, questions, I think I was just asking you guys all hear me. I think that's why their hands might be up. Hopefully. All right. So join our Remind. Feed the Parents group is a group that we have that we started when Glacier High first opened.
You don't actually want to feed parents.
Yeah. Feed the Wolves parent group. Oh yeah, good. This is a way that you can help out as a parent. When we go on trips, we like to bring them treats. We like to bring them food and all kinds of different things. There is a sign-up form that's there in this document. It's also on the main website on there where it says Feed the Wolves. and it will also be on every travel form. So there'll be lots of places that you'll see it. And that's just to click on if you can bring water for the team or snack. You want to talk anything about that, Fritz?
So here's a funny thing. We'd love our kids to eat healthier. They really just want chips and muffins, cookies. But we do have food available for them, and that we take it with us when we get back, early hours of the morning. Anything perishable that I can freeze, we have a freezer. So those signups will change each time. I have them all listed out, one site. It says up through Kalispell, the Flathead tournament, or excuse me, Kalispell tournament, Kalispell Invitational.
It's
But please be aware that that might change, because if we have leftovers, we just save it and we put it back out for the next time. We're always at 2 schools, almost always at 2 schools. So instead of going to Costco and buying the giant peanut butter, we'd really appreciate 2 smaller, because we send it to each school. Just those little things. And hopefully it's on there. If you have any questions, just email Fritz and I will get you hooked up.
Yeah, I was trying to show you the link, but it's of course slow.
Not working right now, of course.
Sorry, go back to here. It'll pop up eventually. Whoops, parents group, guide for parents. Sorry, go back here. So Feed the Wolves is a great opportunity for you to help out. Mrs. Fritz has really organized that and done just an awesome job. We have a theme. Our theme this year is the peak. You can read about that. It's on our spirit packs. It's about, pushing towards the peak, trying to be the best that you can be. Lots of different ideas around that theme. We have absolutely, the best coaching staff in the United States. We really do. I used to say in Montana, but shut up. We're the best I'm just really, really blessed to have the coaches that I have, and a couple of them are here. Miss Menson is here, and Mrs. Fritz is here, and Miss Moore she may have snuck out. But we have an unbelievable staff. All of our staff works here. All of our varsity staff works here in the building. We also have Dwight and Brianna Camalucci, who work in the community and are early graduates of our program, that have come back, and when they were in college, they volunteered and served as our JV coaches. And I didn't pay them. And then I hired them to do this job a year ago. And I said, oh, we got to fill out some W-2 stuff and make sure you guys get paid. They get a little tiny stipend. They're like, we get paid? I said, yeah. Oh, we were going to do this for free. And I was like, I wish I would have known that. So I would give that. But they're just they're the best. And then this year we have 2 volunteers that just graduated, Keegan Siebenaller and Jenna McCrory, who are helping. So just absolutely blessed. They're the best people in the world. And we know, just graduated from college. Sorry, just graduated. Keegan graduated from Notre Dame, and Jenna just graduated from the University of Montana. And we're going to spend a lot of time with your children, a lot of time, more than probably you will over the next couple of months. So I just know that I think they're the very best. I did want to talk about a couple of our expectations. You probably know about these already, but I just wanted to make sure it's out there so you know. We follow all the same school rules, obviously, and we follow all the MHSA rules. The one that it gets a little tricky is academics. So the MHSA and the school rule is that students have to be academically eligible to compete in MHSA activities, which means the semester prior, they had to have passed all their classes. I believe all of our students are in that boat because we check that, right? What's weird is our tournament, our season overlaps 2 semesters. We're one of the only ones that happens to. Well, no, that's not true. All the winners do that. So we've had people like, we're getting ready for state going, oh my gosh, are you going to pass math? Because if you don't, you can't be part of our program anymore. So just know that that's a big part of it. Attendance expectations are very real. And I know COVID made it made it different for sure, but we're surely getting back to normal. And the basic rule is if students are not well enough, either mentally or physically, to be in school, they really should not be at practice either. Take that time off. We really, now, obviously there's always circumstances that maybe are different. You know, they had a doctor's appointment, whatever. The biggest thing, if a student misses school during the day, just let us know, let your coach know, and we'll get that approved through Mr. Denny in the activities office. And he's really good when it's before. He's really good. I mean, I can't even think of a time he didn't approve it. It's when it's after the fact. He's like, what? They did what? So just communicate that. Just know that they're supposed to be there. Big thing is the substance abuse policy. Realize we haven't talked about that too much with the kids, and we'll talk about that on Friday. But you know, it is expected that students are substance free in our activity, which means drugs, alcohol, tobacco, vaping, all that. And at our school, there isn't like you're suspended for 10 days. Our school policy is if you break the rule, you're done for the season. You can come back next year, but you're done. That includes that gathering clause, right? So if students are in at a place where things like that are happening, they need to get out of that situation, right? They need to call you or call somebody and get them out of that situation, right? It's usually always, if they get right out, as soon as they know, they'll be fine. But it's the ones that stick around, right? And a few years ago, we had to remove some students that stayed at a place where things were happening. So don't put yourself in that boat. And we always tell the kids, come on, be chemical free for these 3 months. It's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. And then the one that I did want to say is our travel expectations. We really expect our students to travel on the bus. There's something special, excuse me, that happens on the bus, right? When kids talk about what was the best part of your activity, what do you remember? Inevitably, many will say the bus rides, right? Because that's when they're with their friends and they don't feel the pressure of the tournament and all that. So we really ask that students ride the bus, okay? Really that they ride the bus. Now, if you go to a tournament, and some of you will, and that's awesome, and you want to take your child home with you, they do have to sign out a form so that we know that they left with you. We ask that you don't do that more than once during the season, though, really, unless there's circumstances that they have a college interview the next day or something like that, obviously. But we really want to promote them being on the bus and being part of the team. I think that's all I have. I'm not going to go through the events. They're all listed there. The website shows, like I said, all the stuff that I think that you need to know. Again, just to really look at the Feed the Wolves and the Remind links up there as we go through this season. Now, do you have any questions? I'm gonna talk about Mrs. Fritz in a second. Does anybody have questions of anything I've talked about, said? Before I turn it over to Mrs. Fritz, so we don't get together as parents very much. It's kind of a bummer. So we have this little not little, it's a pretty big tournament actually. Kalispell kickoff on Saturday, which kicks off our season. Which Flathead is officially the host. We help them, but they're the host. We just alternate who hosts what tournaments. Our big tournament is in December 9th, and I could look right here. December 9th and 10th. We will probably be asking for your help with that tournament. We obviously will need lots of judges because it's about double the size of the tournament that's going to happen on Saturday. But we also are always looking for people that can help in concessions, help in any of those kind of, mostly just concessions and judging, right? And then the only other time our parents, when we go to Gonzaga, we got an email that the Gonzaga tournament's back on. It's been virtual for the last couple of years. We will probably ask for some donations to help pay for that because it's an expensive tournament. And then as the season, with the state team, we usually do kind of goodie bags from the parents and things like that. Our season fell kind of funny. So the booster auction was last Friday night. Some of you were there, I know. And my wife and my mom helped lead the speech and debate thing because my son is in it, the activity. And we sent out a remind to last year's parents, which were some of this year's parents, and we're able to get all the donations we needed for this year's booster. So we're not going to hit you up again for that. But next year we're going to be in that boat. So if anybody wants to take over that booster, my wife actually told me as we were walking out on Friday, my last one, she's done doing it, which I think she is. But all right. So Mrs. Fritz is going to talk about two things, actually. If you could talk about the stopwatches and dressing for.
Awesome.
I'm going to take this off just so they can see you.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mrs. Fritz, and I get the opportunity every year to talk about clothing, which is just fun. I wish in our world, maybe that when we meet somebody, we didn't judge them by what they look like, but that's not a reality. So let's deal with the reality and figure out how can we use it to our advantage. When you're giving a speech, whether it is humorous or serious or you're debating, we're looking at your credibility, and we want to represent Glacier High School the best way that we can. So the way that we do that, we try to dress more professionally than we would just going to school, right? So boys are the easiest. Dress shoes, meaning shoes that can hold a shine, right? Not the new latest Nike greatest shoe ever. I mean, honestly, a dress shoe, something that can hold a shine. Usually, males will wear either dress slacks or a khaki slacks, those types of chinos. A button-down shirt, long sleeved with a tie, always a good thing. Hey, men, short sleeves and ties are yucky. Don't do that. That is not a good look. And so we try not to do that. Gentlemen do not have to wear jackets. Some feel like they really do. They really need to. We have, Mr. Adkins is pulling out we have racks of clothes of donations, both male and female. If your kid is looking for something or they grew out, that always happens. High school boys, especially, if they grew out of their clothes, they might want to hit that up and check it out. Okay. And bring us the things you grew out of, right? So, parents, if you have old stuff that your kid is no longer fitting in, please send it our way. We will have it ready for donations. So really, couple of other things for guys especially. Socks should match either their shoe or the pants. White tube socks, or like the latest, I don't have to deal with that as much as the tiny short black sock. So then all of a sudden they sit down and all we see are hairy legs. So it's going to get cold. It would be nice if they had socks. Belts are a thing. Belts should match shoes. These are things. Fashion police. If they wear jewelry, it should be minimized. I always say, is that earring worth a debate loss? Because you may have somebody who judges you like that. And if it is so much their identity, have them talk to their coach. Girls have a few more options, but the rule of thumb is the same. You still want to look professional. So girls can wear pants or skirts. The skirt, oh my gosh. Are you listening? The skirts should be beyond their fingertip when they're standing with their hands straight down at their sides, not their fingertips, Okay. So that's a rule that we have. We have that your legs should not be bare, meaning they're covered up by pants or nylons or a legging, something, they're covered. Closed-toed shoes, for the love of all that is holy, it's going to snow and you need to have closed-toed shoes without your cute little pedicured toes. We don't want to see them. Nothing too super tight and low cut or too short. All of those things matter. We just want you to look professional and credible. Same goes with jewelry for ladies. Hey, high school, this is moms out there, you can feel my pain. This is the one time you get to say, no, glitter eyeshadow isn't a good look, right? That's maybe for a prom. You're going to speech and debate tournament. You can blame me. If there's any fashion faux pas you don't like about your child right now, say Mrs. Fritz said, and they can come and debate me on it. I am on it. Mensa will back me up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hair. Okay. This is the moneymaker, people. Your face is the moneymaker. This is where all the expression happens. So we don't need to have your hair super cool, right? Guys and girls need to have that away from their face. So just keep that in mind. I think I got everything, right?
Yep.
Did I get everything? Okay. Last thing for my part. So I'll be asking you for food for Feed the Wolves, but I also do a fundraiser. We buy up in bulk stopwatches. Okay. They're here. I doubt there are any right now in Target, Walmart, because everybody's been told you need to have a kitchen timer. They are out of them. We buy them in bulk. I just have them in my room. Send your kids to me. Or tonight, we sell them for $10. Yes, that does give us a bit of a profit that goes into our fundraising, but they're good timers with big faces and they count down and make the noise. So, and they also count up. Sorry, that's for debate. My debate was showing. They also count up and you can see big right where you're at. So that helps. I have those right over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Students are required to have a timer. They can use their phones. We really recommend that they don't for lots of reasons. The big, obviously your screen times out, causes all kinds of problems. You also could get phone calls and interruptions. We really recommend that our kids put their phones away, disconnect from that during their rounds, and use an actual old school timer. If their phone beeps or anything, or they don't get the screen timeout off, they can't get first in a round. It's called timing malfunction.
Even if it's an Amber Alert.
Yeah. Even if it's an Amber. Yeah. So we just use a timer. It's a lot easier. So, hey, that's all I have for the meeting. Unless you have questions, I'm really terrible with names, so I'm sorry if I should know you and I don't know you, but
You will be quizzed.
yeah, I will be, and I will fail the quiz. It's the running joke. Hey, I'm going to stop recording. This will also be online if you want to go back. Why would you do that? But thanks you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I'm excited about the season. It's going to be an awesome season. Stop recording. Yes, I'm stopping.